Okay. Why we travel is the chapter that we are going to. Okay, ma'am has started recording. All right. So let's begin. So today we're going to read the 7th chapter, Unit 1, Chapter 5, Why we travel. छुट्टियों में कितने बच्चे घूमने जाते हैं? We go to Nani's house, we go to Dadi's house, we go to Bua's house, right? We have extended family. Indians have this luxury of having extended families that we can visit in the holidays. But usually, why do you think people travel? Why do you think people travel? People travel to see new countries, right? To learn about new places, to admire the natural beauty of places, to visit famous monuments. कहीं लोग ताजमहल देखने कहाँ कहाँ से आते हैं, right? There are famous monuments that people come to visit. What else? Right? So people travel for different reasons. Share your views on how traveling can be a hobby. Hobby is something you do for fun, right? So traveling can be a hobby, yes. How can traveling be a hobby? Because it helps you visit new places, learn about new cultures, enjoy nature. People who are in the plains love to visit the mountains. People who are in the mountains love to visit beaches. And basically, try out new food and create memorable experiences. So, because of these reasons, traveling can be a hobby. Okay, let's quickly listen to the translation. It will help us.
प्रवास करणे हा एक छंद असू शकतो, कारण त्यामुळे आपल्याला नवीन ठिकाणे शोधता येतात, विविध संस्कृतींची माहिती मिळते, निसर्गाचा आनंद घेता येतो. नवीन खाद्यपदार्थांचा आस्वाद घेता येतो आणि अविस्मरणीय अनुभव मिळतात. यामुळे मन ताजेतवाने होते आणि आपल्या ज्ञानात भर पडते.
Right? So that is the reason why people travel. Okay. Benefits of traveling. कुछ तो हमने अभी डिस्कस किया. To learn new places, to see new places, to create memories, to learn about their culture, right? Their food, their eating habits, their lifestyle, how they dress, what they eat, how they live, right? But हम personally क्या क्या सीखते हैं when we travel? We learn to prepare and organize, because before we go traveling, we have to pack. We have to make sure we are carrying our medicines. SOS, if you're going to the mountains, we have to make sure we are carrying warm clothes, we are wearing the right shoes, we have a warm cap, we have a water bottle, a thermos to carry hot water or hot drinks, right? And when you go to a new place, you have to be careful and cautious, yes, right? That's how we learn, right? We have to. And when we are going to a new place, you have to. So you have to be prompt and quick, because if you're not on time, you might miss the bus, you might miss the train. So you have to be on time. You can't be lazy and disorganized. You have to prepare and be organized. You have to make sure you pack your things well when you're going from one place to another. Otherwise, you're going to leave things, you're going to lose things. And you have to be careful and cautious. Yes, new place, you have to be very careful. There are pickpockets, there are antisocial elements, there are people who will try and cheat you, right? So you have to be very careful and you have to become independent, right? Mom is not running after you to say, Arey, you forgot this charger, Arey, you forgot your t-shirt, right? So you have to take care of yourself. You have to become independent. And because you're going to a new place, you will learn about their culture, their food, their lifestyle, their clothes, their eating habits, their song and dances. How is it different, right? And of course, because you're interacting with so many people, new people, you're talking to them about their culture, you're telling them about yours. So there is a lot of communication happening, right? You're listening to them and you're when they are talking and when you are talking, they're listening to you and you have to communicate clearly what you want to say. So with time, your communication skills also develop. And when you're able to travel alone and when you're able to communicate with people you haven't met before, so your confidence also grows. Your confidence increases, right? And you develop problem solving skills. आपको you've left your wallet somewhere, you've forgotten to pack something, or your medicines are finished. So then you have to solve those problems yourself. So you'd also develop problem solving skills. So these are the benefits of traveling. When we travel, we develop these skills. Make a list of your expectations when you travel to a new place. Expectation is उम्मीद. क्या सोच के जाते हो कि वहां पे मुझे क्या देखने को मिलेगा, मुझे क्या एक्सपीरियंस करने को मिलेगा. What all am I going to? What do you expect when you go to a new place? Expectations, when translated, means अपेक्षा. ठीक है, जब हम ट्रैवल करते हैं तो हमारी क्या अपेक्षा होती है? So our अपेक्षा is that वहाँ का खाना अच्छा होना चाहिए and we should be able to find food when we are hungry, right? Because if you're in a new place and there is no place to eat or the food is bad, then it becomes a very unpleasant experience. Comfortable and safe accommodation. Where you're going to stay, you're going to be reasonably comfortable. It should be a clean and tidy place. It should take care of your comforts and it should be safe, right? Safe from wild animals, safe from antisocial elements, safe from any kind of harm. Good transport and sightseeing facilities. So you hope that you'll be able to find taxis or cabs or buses or trains when you're traveling from one place to another. And it also has, you should be able to go around sightseeing. You should be able to see the famous places in the area. Friendly local people and a clean environment. If the locals are not friendly towards tourists and they misbehave and they try to cheat or get into a fight, that's a very unpleasant experience. So you hope that the locals will be friendly and the place will be clean and tidy. Okay, kinds of travel. What are the different kinds of travel that people engage in? Solo travel is when you just pick up your backpack, take a bus, and you're traveling alone. You're not traveling with anyone. So you can go where you want, explore what you want. So you don't have to worry about the other people in the group, right? Then there's culinary travel. When you are traveling to taste the food, the delicacies, the fruits, the special, uh, the highlight of this travel is that you get to taste foods of different places. So the trip is planned accordingly. Adventure travel, when people go surfing, people go trekking, people go sightseeing, these are all adventure based travel. Or people go to mm, this national parks, adventure parks, right? Jim Corbett National Park, Rajaji National Park, all these parks for safaris and bird and animal sightings. So this is your adventure travel. Business travel, when people travel for work, they travel to get business, to sell their products, to buy stuff, to meet clients. That's business travel. Educational travel, when you travel to learn about something. Educational travels are trips that are arranged by schools. You go to a dairy farm to see how the cows are taken care of, how is milk, how they're milked, how the milk is processed, how is it packaged. A lot of schools take their children to the mother dairy to see how does mother dairy, uh, it pasteurizes the milk, it packages it, and then it packs it and it transports it. A lot of children travel to factories, industries, places where uh, they get a chance to, or to museums. These are all a part of educational travel. Then there are religious travel, uh, trips, pilgrimages, when there'll be a trip that is going to Mount Kailash, there'll be a trip that's going to Rishikesh, to various temples. So that there are also religious travels where people get together and all of them go together to visit the religious places in the area. Ecotourism. Ecotourism is when you want to explore nature. So this trip is planned around sightseeing, natural, basically nature sightseeing, not man-made. Okay, and then there is family travel. And you travel as family. So as a family, you could also go on adventures, you could go on educational trips, or it could be a combination of some sightseeing, uh, some ecotourism. It's a mix of all. And then you also explore the local food in the area, right? And that is family travel for you when you travel as a family. All right. Siddharth Iyer, born in 1957 at Oxford, England, is known as Pico Iyer. He is a British-born American essayist and novelist and is best known for his travel writing. He was awarded the famous Guggenheim Fellowship of Creative Arts in 2005 and won the accolade of Honorary Doctor of Human Letters by the Chapman University. He's authored several books, including Video Night in Kathmandu and The Lady and the Monk, The Global Soul, and The Man Within My Head. He's also working as an essayist for the Times since 1986. He also publishes regularly in the New York Review of Books and the New York Times and other renowned publications. So, Siddharth Iyer is an American who was born in Britain, but he's of Indian origin, as you can make out from his name and his looks. In his classic essay, Why We Travel, Pico Iyer explores the reasons for his passion to travel and shares them with the readers. He quotes famous writers and puts forth his own observations while probing into his own instinct to travel. Enormously interesting, the extract is equally inspiring for the readers who are looking for adventures in their lives. So let's see if the reasons that Pico Iyer gives for his traveling, they match our reasons. Okay. He shares with us why he likes to travel. Okay. We travel initially to lose ourselves, and we travel next to find ourselves. We travel to open our hearts and eyes and learn more about the world than our newspapers will accommodate. We travel to bring what little we can in our ignorance and knowledge to those parts of the globe whose riches are differently dispersed. So he says the first reason why we travel is to lose ourselves. So if I'm in this place, I'm so-and-so, I'm a teacher, I'm a mother, I have an identity, but when I'm traveling, nobody knows me, right? I'm a nobody. So the first reason why we travel is to lose ourselves and then to find ourselves. So when you go to a place, you realize, oh, this is something I like. This is something of my interest. And then you understand yourself better. That's what he means by finding ourselves, right? We travel to open our hearts and eyes and learn more about the world than our newspapers will accommodate. So newspapers only tell us important incidents, right? Newspapers can't cover everything. They only cover incidents, good incidents, bad incidents, some meetings, some events, some happenings. He says, but when we want to learn more than what the newspapers can tell us, we need to travel. Only then we know firsthand about a place. We travel to bring what little we can in our ignorance and knowledge to those parts of the globe whose riches are differently dispersed. Riches are differently dispersed means every place has something of value, something that makes it rich, something that makes it special. But everyone's riches are differently dispersed. Some place could be rich in culture, some place could be rich in nature, some place could be rich in something else. So, but you only know that once you go there and experience it for yourself, right? Otherwise, everybody thinks, our country is the best, our state is the best, my language is the best, my area is the best, my food is the best. But when you travel, you also realize that there are other places in the world which are equally special and beautiful. And their riches are differently dispersed. So it could have something that is special about the place which another place might not have. And we travel in essence to become young fools again, to slow time and get taken in and fall in love once more. So when we are living our daily lives, we're like, oh, 7 o'clock, it's time to do this. It's 10 o'clock, it's time to do this. It's 1 o'clock, it's time for lunch. It's 2 o'clock, it's chutti time. I need to run back home. 4 o'clock, it's homework time. 5 o'clock, I need to help my parents do this and help them around the house. 8 o'clock, dinner time. 9 o'clock, time to sleep. So we are running from one thing to another in our daily lives. So he says traveling is when you slow time down. All you're doing is travel. You've forgotten that sense of routine and tight schedule. Now you're relaxed, you're enjoying the place, you're enjoying the weather, you're enjoying the travel, and you fall in love once more. That means you start enjoying life once more. Right? The beauty of this whole process was best described perhaps before people even took to frequent flying by George Satyana and his lapidary essay. That means very, well-written essay, The Philosophy of Travel. And what does he say in that essay? He says we need sometimes to escape into open solitudes, into aimlessness, into a moral holiday of running some pure hazard in order to sharpen the edge of life, to taste hardship, and to be compelled to work desperately for a moment at no matter what. So he says, Baki time to we are running from one thing to another. So why does he call it open solitude? Because you're with other people and yet you're alone. You're alone because you're new to the place, right? Into aimlessness. There is nothing that you want to achieve कि मुझे ये करना है, मुझे ये submit करना है, मुझे ये बनाना है, मुझे ये present करना है. It's nothing of the sort. You're just traveling. You're enjoying being in a new place, the weather, the people, the food, the culture, and there is no agenda, there is no deadline, there is no किसी तरह का किसी काम का प्रेशर नहीं है. चाहे वो काम पढ़ाई है, चाहे वो घर का काम है, चाहे वो ऑफिस का काम है, किसी का. दैट्स व्हाई ही कॉल्स इट एमलेसनेस. जब आपके कोई एम नहीं है, कुछ आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, यू जस्ट हैव टू रिलैक्स एंड बी. देयर इज नो कंपल्शन, देयर इज नो रिस्क. काम में तो क्या था, ये नहीं किया तो ये हो जाएगा, ये नहीं किया तो ये हो जाएगा. So there is no compulsion, there is no deadline, there is no risk, there is no hazard. You're just traveling. Okay. Few of us forget the connection between travel and travail. What is travail? Okay. Travel and travail. So travel, we know, going from one place to another, right? And travail means hard work, suffering, painful labor, right? So travail means when you're striving, you're working hard. And travel is when you're visiting a place, you're relaxed, you're going from one place to another. So that's travail. So there was a time when traveling was considered a headache because there were no good places to stay, there was no transport available, you were not sure what you're going to find in that place. Abhi to we can find everything on the internet, right? What is the weather? We can Google what kind of food is available there. We can find out what are the local customs and traditions. We can find out, right? But तो एक जमाना था जब travel was considered travail, right? That means challenging, problematic, painful. But today, travel has become very easy, comfortable, and more relaxing. Travel, in that sense, guides us towards a better balance of wisdom and compassion, of seeing the world clearly and feeling it truly. So, when you're traveling, you're experiencing the world through your travel. You're not reading about it in a book or a newspaper or a magazine. You are living it. Okay? For seeing without feeling can obviously be uncaring, while feeling without seeing can be blind. So if you're looking at something and you can't feel the place, you can't enjoy the weather, you can't empathize with the people, if you're insensitive, if you're seeing whatever is around you without feeling emotional or feeling connected, So उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है. That is a very disconnected state, very uncaring state. But if you feel without ever having been there, so you don't know what you're feeling for. आपने देखा तो है नहीं, but आपको उनसे attachment है. किस चीज के लिए फीलिंग है जब आपने एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं किया? So that's like being blind, right? Having feelings for something you have not experienced. Yet for me, the first great joy of traveling is simply the luxury of leaving all my beliefs and certainties at home and seeing everything I thought I knew in a different light and from a crooked angle. Right? So he says, for me, traveling is Yet for me, the great joy of traveling is simply the luxury of leaving all my beliefs and certainties at home and seeing everything I thought I knew in a different light and from a crooked angle. So he says, when I travel, I leave my beliefs and certainties behind and I'm open to new things. Can you? He says, I leave my certainties behind. I leave leave my beliefs behind. I'm open to the fact that people I'm visiting could have different beliefs. And there is nothing certain. So I'm open to new experiences. And then seeing everything I thought I knew in a different light. So obviously, when you visit new places, new cultures, you see things differently. Though it's fashionable nowadays to draw a distinction between tourist and the traveler, perhaps the real distinction lies between those who leave their assumptions at home and those who don't. He says आजकल tourist और traveler के बारे में बहुत बातें होती हैं, that these are two different things. But he says, in my mind, there are only two kinds of people. One who leave their assumptions at home and those who go with their preconceived notions. कि वहाँ पे ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होगा. आप अगर सोच के जाएंगे तो you are going to be disappointed. If you go with an open mind कि अच्छा I know this about the place, but हो सकता है वहाँ पे different हो. So you go with an open mind, you're going to have different experiences. And when you go with preconceived notions means
पूर्वाग्रह.
ठीक है कि हम सोच के जा रहे हैं कि वहां पे तो ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होगा. दैट इज preconceived notions, right? Among those who don't, a tourist is just someone who complains. Nowhere here is the way it is at home. Obviously, it's going to be different from what it is at home, right? That's the whole point of travel. But a tourist will keep complaining, right? While a traveler is the one who grumbles. Everything here is the same as it is in another place. So, किसी को ये प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है कि यहाँ तो घर जैसा कुछ है ही नहीं. किसी और को ये प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है कि ये तो वैसा ही है जैसा वहां पे था. There is nothing new about this place. So he says basically a person who comes with ideas in their mind, assumptions in their mind, they are going to be disappointed. अगर सब कुछ ऐसा ही है जैसा वहां पे था तो उनको प्रॉब्लम है, और अगर वैसा नहीं है जैसा पहले उन्होंने एक्सपीरियंस किया तो प्रॉब्लम है. सो दे आर गोइंग टू बी डिसअपॉइंटेड आइदर वेज. अगर चीज डिफरेंट है तो उनको प्रॉब्लम होगी और सेम है तो उनको प्रॉब्लम होगी. सो व्हाट इज द वे आउट? दैट यू गो विद एन ओपन माइंड विद जीरो assumptions. अपने assumptions घर पे छोड़ के जाओ. लीव योर assumptions at home. Only then you are going to enjoy traveling. For the rest of us, the sovereign freedom of traveling comes from the fact that it whirls you around and turns you upside down and stands everything you took for granted on its head. So he says the best freedom in traveling, the most effective traveling is when all that you've thought all your life, all the ideas you had in your head all your life, it gets turned upside down. अब तक जो भी आपका जीवन जीने का तरीका था वो पूरा हिल जाता है कि life can be lived like this also. This is also a way of life. This is also how nations can be run, how houses can be arranged, food can be cooked, things can be organized, right? So when all your preconceived notions stand on its head. If your diploma can famously be a passport to a journey through hard realism, or a passport can be a diploma for a crash course in cultural relativism. So he says when you travel, you are exposed to new cultures, so you're forced to see the value in other cultures as well. Then you realize that yours is not the only culture, yours is not the only way to be. And after the first lesson on the road, whether we like it or not, is how provisional and provincial are the things we imagine to be universal. कहते हैं जो हम दिमाग में मान के चलते थे कि फैमिलीज तो ऐसे होती हैं, रास्ते तो ऐसे होते हैं, रोड्स तो ऐसे होती हैं, बसेस तो ऐसी होती हैं, होटल्स तो ऐसे होते हैं, खाना तो ऐसा होता है. All that changes when you travel. He says this is one of the biggest first lessons that you learn. Okay? Let's listen to this translation. This is a very important paragraph.
पण आपल्यासारख्या इतरांसाठी प्रवासाचे ते अद्वितीय स्वातंत्र्य या गोष्टींतून मिळते की तो प्रवास तुम्हाला गरगर फिरवतो, उलथापालथ करतो आणि तुम्ही ज्या गोष्टी गृहीत धरल्या होत्या त्या पूर्णपणे उलट पालट करून टाकतो. जर एखादी पदवी कठोर वास्तवाच्या प्रवासाचा पासपोर्ट ठरू शकते, तर एखादा पासपोर्ट सांस्कृतिक सापेक्षतेच्या सखोल व त्वरित अभ्यासाचा पदवी ठरू शकतो. आणि प्रवासादरम्यान आपल्याला मिळणारा पहिला धडा, मग तो आपल्याला आवडो वा न आवडो, तो म्हणजे ज्या गोष्टी आपण सार्वत्रिक सर्वत्र समान मानतो त्या प्रत्यक्षात किती तात्पुरत्या आणि मर्यादित दृष्टिकोनावर आधारित असतात.
ठीक है? So this is a very important lesson that we learn from travel. हमें लगता था हम सिर्फ घूमने फिरने जाते हैं. घूमने फिरने से बहुत कुछ सीखने को है लाइफ में. There is so much that you learn. Right? We travel then in part just to shake up our complacencies by seeing all the moral and political urgencies, the life and death dilemmas that we seldom have to face at home. So when we step out of our houses, we also see the challenges that people are facing. Political challenges, moral challenges, life and death dilemmas, जो हमारे साथ नहीं हो रहा बट हम दूसरों की लाइफ में उसको देख पाते हैं. And we travel to fill in the gaps left by tomorrow's headlines. So there is a lot of information and experiences that we don't get through our news, our newspapers, our TV channels. So all that you get through travel. When you drive down the streets of Port-au-Prince, for example, where there is almost no paving, your notions of the internet and the one world order grow usefully revised. So when you drive down this road, you see there are no pavements and there is no internet. Right? So that means the world paving your notions of the internet. So whatever you think of the internet, कि कहीं भी जाओ वहाँ internet मिल जाता है. So that notion gets revised. That internet is, even when you go to the mountains or you travel to remote areas, we don't necessarily have good internet there. So you realize the whole world is not connected by the internet, right? So it's not one world. The world is still divided in various ways. Travel is the best way we have of rescuing the humanity of places and saving them from abstraction and ideology. Right? Paving your notions, it means the exact, मैंने उसको pavement से confuse कर लिया. Paving your notions.
त्यांना आकार देणे.
Right? तुम्हारी कल्पना को आकार देना. Right? तो जो आपकी कल्पना है इंटरनेट को लेके उसको वो बदल देता है. Right? Travel is the best way we have of rescuing the humanity of places and saving them from abstraction and ideology. So that areas don't get dedicated to ideologies, it's important that we travel and open there.
ठिकाणांमधील मानवीत्व जपण्याचा आणि त्यांना अमूर्तता व विचारसरणीच्या कचाट्यातून वाचवण्याचा प्रवास हाच सर्वोत्तम मार्ग आहे.
ठीक है? Okay. And in the process, we also get saved from abstraction ourselves and come to see how much we can bring to the places we visit and how much we can become a kind of career pigeon, an anti-federal express if you like, in transporting back and forth what every culture needs. So when you visit a place, you're not only learning about their culture, you're sharing your culture with them, right? So you're like a career pigeon. तो वो जगह तो हमें बदल ही रही है. When we go there, we are also exposing that place, those people, that country to our culture, right? So he says, I find that I always take Mike Jordan posters to Kyoto and bring back Ikebana baskets back to California. So whatever is good about America, Michael Jordan is very famous player, football player. So he says, I take Michael Jordan posters to Kyoto is in Japan, to Japan, and Mahase, I get their Ikebana baskets to California, United States, right? But more significantly, we carry values and beliefs and news to the places we go. And in many parts of the world, we become walking video screens and living newspapers, the only channel that can take people out of the censored limits of their homeland. Like I said, when you go to another place, you're exposing that place to your values, your beliefs, your language, your morals. So they are learning about you and you are learning about them. So you become like a walking video screen. So by looking at you, those people can learn about your eating habits, your tastes, your thinking, your language, your physical features. How do you look? How do you dress? How do you think? What do you like? What do you not like? Right? So that's why it says you become walking video screens and living newspapers. So through them, they can learn directly about where you come from, your culture. The only channel that can take people out of the censored limits of their homelands. So when you're in your homeland, everyone knows about your area, right? Your place, your culture, your language, your thinking. But when you step out of your boundaries into a new place you travel, you become walking video screens of your homeland. In closed or impoverished places like Pagan or Lhasa or Havana, we are the eyes and ears of the people we meet. Their only contact with the world outside, and very often the closest, quite literally, they will ever come to Michael Jackson or Bill Clinton. So he says, when you go to poor places, Michael Jordan is never going to go there. The president of US is never going to go there. The rich and famous will never go there. But when they see a representative of that country, of that area, that place, that is the closest they will ever feel to these people, right? So because this person is an American, when he goes there, so that is the closest they're ever going to come to American heroes. For them, because he's an American, for them, he represents all that is good about America. So he's representing his culture, his country, and the rich and the famous in America. Not the least of the challenges of travel, therefore, is learning how to import and export dreams with tenderness. So he says, it's important to be kind. It's important to export dreams, what people do in America, what they live in America, how they live, what they value. So when you talk about your culture, you're giving the other person also possible dreams, possible ways of thinking. कि अच्छा, हम भी ऐसे कर सकते हैं. We can also live like this. We can also play this sport. We can also try and do this. So that's called exporting dreams. And when you go there, you learn about their resilience, their qualities, whatever they value. And you're importing their dreams and you're exporting your dreams to them, right? That's why he calls it import and export dreams. And you have to do it with ultimate sensitivity, with kindness, with tenderness, right? It's important to be sensitive and kind, right? You can't be harsh. All right. All right, here we go. Let's listen to the translation of this very important paragraph. So when we travel, we are learning about the new places we visit, yes, but we are also exposing that place to our culture, our values, our morals, our strengths, our weaknesses, right?
पण त्याहूनही महत्त्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे आपण जिथे जिथे जातो तिथे आपल्यासोबत आपली मूल्ये, श्रद्धा आणि बातम्या घेऊन जातो. जगाच्या अनेक भागांत आपण चालती फिरती व्हिडिओ स्क्रीन्स आणि जिवंत वर्तमानपत्रे बनतो, अशी एकमेव माध्यमे जी लोकांना त्यांच्या मायदेशातील सेन्सॉरशिपच्या, निर्बंधांच्या चौकटीतून बाहेर काढू शकतात. पागन, लासा किंवा हवानासारख्या बंदिस्त किंवा दरिद्री ठिकाणांवर आपण भेटत असलेल्या लोकांसाठी आपण त्यांचे डोळे आणि कान असतो. बाह्य जगाशी त्यांचा तो एकमेव दुवा असतो आणि अनेकदा मायकल जॅक्सन किंवा बिल क्लिंटन यांच्याशी त्यांचा प्रत्यक्ष संपर्क येण्याची तीच सर्वात जवळची संधी असते. त्यामुळे प्रवासातील एक महत्त्वाचे आव्हान म्हणजे स्वप्नांची कोमलतेने देवाणघेवाण, आयात आणि निर्यात कशी करायची हे शिकणे.
ठीक है, एक बार और सुने इसको थोड़ा सा, स्लोली.
पण त्याहूनही महत्त्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे आपण जिथे जिथे जातो तिथे आपल्यासोबत आपली मूल्ये, श्रद्धा आणि बातम्या घेऊन जातो. जगाच्या अनेक भागांत आपण चालती फिरती व्हिडिओ स्क्रीन्स आणि जिवंत वर्तमानपत्रे बनवतो, अशी एकमेव माध्यमे जी लोकांना त्यांच्या मायदेशातील सेन्सॉरशिपच्या, निर्बंधांच्या चौकटीतून बाहेर काढू शकतात. पागन, लासा किंवा हवानासारख्या बंदिस्त किंवा दरिद्री ठिकाणांवर आपण भेटत असलेल्या लोकांसाठी आपण त्यांचे डोळे आणि कान असतो. बाह्य जगाशी त्यांचा तो एकमेव दुवा असतो आणि अनेकदा मायकल जॅक्सन किंवा बिल क्लिंटन यांच्याशी त्यांचा प्रत्यक्ष संपर्क येण्याची तीच सर्वात जवळची संधी असते. त्यामुळे प्रवासातील एक महत्त्वाचे आव्हान म्हणजे स्वप्नांची कोमलतेने देवाणघेवाण, आयात आणि निर्यात कशी करायची हे शिकणे.
ठीक है, okay, so we'll stop here and the next class we'll begin from here. Okay, why he talks about Bill Clinton is जब इन्होंने लिखा था तब बिल क्लिंटन वहां के प्रेसिडेंट थे, right? Now before the class ends I want to share this with you. There is this thesaurus.com. okay, अगर आप thesaurus पे जाएंगे it takes you to this page. okay, यहाँ पे आप कोई भी वर्ड अगर टाइप करेंगे, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमें अपने ट्रैवल से एक वर्ड ले सकते हैं, टेंडरनेस. अभी हमने पढ़ा ना, एक्सपोर्ट ड्रीम्स विथ टेंडरनेस. ओके, सो टाइप टेंडरनेस हियर, सर्च. okay, and then it will give you the synonyms. यहाँ पे आप synonyms antonyms पे क्लिक करेंगे तो आपको टेंडरनेस का मीनिंग है अफेक्शन. इसके synonyms है, synonyms माने words with same meaning. gentleness, kindness, warmth, sympathy, right? These are synonyms for tenderness. और इसके opposites क्या है? dislike, hate, hatred, hostility, right? तो यहाँ पे आपको synonyms और antonyms दोनों मिल जाएंगे और आप इसका pronunciation भी देख सकते हैं अगर आप चाहें तो. okay, यहाँ पे आप एग्जाम्पल्स भी देख सकते हैं सेंटेंसेस के. इट गिव्स यू एग्जाम्पल सेंटेंसेस, राइट? इससे रिलेटेड वर्ड्स भी देख सकते हैं. तो दिस इज अ गुड लिंक. आई विल शेयर दिस लिंक विद यू ऑन द डॉक्यूमेंट thesaurus.com. आप इसको सेव कर सकते हैं अपने लैपटॉप में. आपको कोई भी शब्द समझने के लिए ये बहुत ही एक अच्छा वेबसाइट है. ठीक है, dictionary.com भी है. अगर आप चाहें तो आप dictionary.com भी सेव कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, यहाँ पे आप कोई भी वर्ड डाल सकते हैं. जैसे द वर्ड इज हेक्टर, जैसे आपने यहाँ पे शब्द डाला रियल. ठीक है, सर्च, तो यहाँ पे
real, real, real,
रियल, राइट? यहाँ पे अलग अलग इसके मीनिंग्स दे रखे हैं, यहाँ पे ब्रिटिश प्रोनाउंसिएशन दे रखी है, राइट?
Real.
रियल नंबर,
Real.
राइट? और सेंटेंसेस दे रखे हैं, यहाँ पे आप सिनोनिम्स पे जा सकते हैं, इनको कैसे यूज करते हैं उस पे जा सकते हैं। और मुझे पर्सनली ये बहुत पसंद है, ठीक है? आप, आई शेयर दिस लिंक विद यू, यू कैन सेव दिस। ऑलराइट, वील कंटिन्यू इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास। ऑलराइट बेटे, बाय।